Tell me, Lord Zeus, ruler of justice, why must it be forbidden of a mortal to find endearment with mortal beings? Why must it be forbidden for I to find endearment in humble-hearted Agatha, for he holds righteous intentions for I in our kingdom of Phobia? Yet all I ever took fancy to was to rule with Agatha as my side companion. Goddess grey-eyed Athena cried to her father, looking for an answer of honesty. She lays on her knees while staring into a lake full of tears fallen from Goddess' eyes, each tear causing a ripple in the water as if it blesses every fragment of the lake's waters with waves of hope and worry. Worry that humble-hearted Agatha might be slaughtered by thine gods for reasoning he is blind of. Hope that flourishes every feeling of disbelief that her compassion for Agatha cannot be legal. While grey-eyed Athena lays on her knees hovering the water, humble-hearted Agatha approached his love and laid a hand on her shoulder, unaware of her thoughts or worries. Athena, apprise me your words that you keep hidden inside your mind's barrier, for I may be of good use of reckoning your cause for tears. You cannot reckon my words, nor can you worry about my worries, for we have our own trouble of keeping the gem of Phobia safe from Simorian descent. We shall keep the gem in safe keeping, away from all others, for their intentions may be disastrous, yet my worry does not fade, knowing my companion is disheartened. Yet it must. My unease cannot be your priority, for it is neither mine. Telemachus needs assistance in Ithaca, and I have promised to him my presence. Therefore I shall leave by dawn and return next full moon. While I'm away, take head of game and bring them to Phobia in order to bring glory to our kingdom. I shall do as you request, for our kingdom requires a necessity, yet my worry still remains. Keep from harm in your travels. Good-hearted Agatha gazed deeply in her eyes, for they glistened like the starry night sky, hovering over their bodies close, yet so far away. Athena gathers herself and walks away from Agatha with hope that her worry will fade on her travels to Ithaca. Attempting to keep her godlike abilities concealed, she walks a short distance, far enough from Agatha, hence a quicker way to travel hounds her soul. Tempting to spread her winged shoulders, soaring through the sky, sharp as the tip of a sharpened sword as she recites the indigenous language of the fowl. Yet she refuses to reveal herself to him. Therefore she waits. Agatha walks with his head full of wonder that he holds for his lover's mind and what she hides from him. Although his mind wanders, he does as was requested and gathers his things to attract game for his kingdom to flourish. Athena walks with shame bearing on her shoulders, shame for lying to her companion and disregarding immortal laws, shame that she accepts this reality. Suddenly, Athena stops in her tracks and stares her goddess eyes into the dawn, as if it speaks to her in a language too beautiful to comprehend. She runs towards it, faster than the thoughts roaming in her head. She opens her arms and projects her wings outward as wide as a valley. She leaps from a rock standing in her way and catches herself mid-air with the winged shoulders and flies towards the sun, soaring through the heavens as the fawn searches for escape. As she's in the air, a single tear falls from her goddess eyes and blesses the air with sorrow as Athena flies towards Ithaca. As her thoughts escape her hasty mind, a flock of mighty eagles fly towards her as they fight through the air, ripping each other apart with their talons as their blood falls to the ground from midair. Athena examines their deadly bodies. Athena examines the deadly battle, only to see the eagles shed blood over a helpless pigeon. Realizing the blood that falls escapes the powerless innocent body which strikes Athena's soul, and her mind quickly roamed to Agatha as if the battle was a sign from Lord of Justice, Zeus, that her companion were in trouble. She instantly stops in her tracks and soars through the heavens, returning to Phobia. She searches for her love with fright building in her mind. For every second Agatha was out of her sight, almost as if a shooting pain pounded in her torso, ready to escape. Although her companion remained unfound, she falls from the sky and lands on her feet, untouched by harm, yet still in pain, a pain one could only imagine. Nevertheless, Agatha finds himself running from the Simorians, for they patiently waited for him to separate from Athena and trapped him by his lonesome with hope to retrieve the gem of Phobia. Agatha runs far enough distance and hides behind a sheltered boulder near a cave, with aspiration that the Simorians run past him. He sits and watches, waiting for them to pass, when he is snatched by the cloth off his back and beaten. As he begs for his life to be spared, a flock of crows fall from the sky at once, with a single hawk hovering in the sky, staring into the Simorian soul before his flight away. Taking advantage, Agatha escapes the Simorian holds and begins to run. As he limps away, the hawk swoops down, stopping him in his tracks, with its wings spread as wide as a valley, which Agatha took as a sign from mighty Zeus, that his companion has returned and now has the Somorians eyeing her as their next target. Worried that his companion's life was on the line, he drops himself to the ground and yells to the Somorians his acceptance of his torture in exchange for the location of the gem of Photia. Agatha gives the Somorians his life in hope to save Athena's, unaware of her everlasting life, truly from the love he held in his heart. The Somorians vanish, for they know the knowledge for they hold the knowledge of Athena's appearance. Athena continues her search and finds a boulder next to a cave that struck the curiosity in her soul. She walked towards it just to see a trail of staggered bloodshed on the ground. She follows the trail only to find her companion's dead flesh on the ground. Athena cries out loud to the gods in disbelief of what she saw. Her mind sits in denial as she begs for her love to wake up, yet he does not. Athena lays her devastating body over her lover's and cries until not a single tear could fall from her face again. How could she forgive herself, for he gave his life because of lies that she told, secrets that she kept, and rebelliousness that she used against the laws of the gods. Little does she know that it was a planned death by her own father, for punishment of the unrighteous acts that Athena immersed. With her hand held down in shame, she walks back to her kingdom to retrieve the gem of Photia, reciting her final goodbyes to her home that she once knew. She flies to Ithaca, still keeping her promise to Telemachus to guide him on his ways of life, in hope to fill the gap of sorrow and shame that Athena now holds in her heart.